हरिः ओं श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। अभ्रमं भङ्गरहितम् अजडं विमलं सदा आनन्दतीर्थमतुलं भजे तापत्रयापहं मिथ्यासिद्धान्तदुद्ध्वान्तविध्वंसनविचक्षणः जयतीर्थागतनिर्भासतां नो हृदम्बरे पूज्य राघवेन्द्राय सिद्धर्मरताय च भजतां कल्पवृक्षाय नमतां कामधेनवे आपादमौलिपर्यन्तं गुरूणामाकृतिं स्मरेत् तेन विघ्नाः प्रणश्यन्ति सिद्ध्यन्ति मनोरथाः। हरिः ओं श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. We are doing the second adhyaya of Bhagavad Gita. There we talked about Vyavasayatmika Buddhi and Avyavasayatmika Buddhi. So the proper conclusion, how to know which is the right conclusion, which is the wrong conclusion, this thing. And while discussing that, in Vedas, so many topics are there. So there we talked about Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Nistraigunyo Bhavajuna, Nidvandvo Nityasattvasto, Niryoga Kshema Atmavan. 45th sloka, we covered that. And there we talked about, just I'm recapping in just a couple of minutes what we did because it was a long time. So Triguna, Sattva, Rajas, Tamo Gunatmaka Vishayas are there. So, Acharya gives in Bhashya and Tatparya two different types of meanings. Bhashya meaning says, actually, before even that, what is the wrong understanding? Some people may understand it wrongly. So that wrong understanding is what we talked about. We said people may say, okay, Vedas will talk about Triguna, Sattva, Rajas, Tamo Gunatmaka Vishayas only. So Nistraya Gunyo Bhava. So you have to give up Trigunas. That means give up Vedas itself. Because Vedas talk about Trigunas, and to get out of the Trigunas, you just don't even deal with Vedas. So this kind of wrong understanding can be had. So that is not what it is meant. The real meaning is two approaches. One is Acharya says in Bhashya, the apparent things, the apparent meaning. So the Traigunya Vishaya, so there are some aspects in Veda, some Vedic statements, which seem to talk about the apparent meaning. If you take, you will be going in the wrong direction. So Traigunya Vishaya, Trigunatmaka, Sattvaras, Tamagunas are being described in Vedas as apparent meaning only. So the purpose of the Vedas is not to deal with the Trigunatmaka Vishayas, that is Sattvaras, Tamagunatmaka, Laukika, materialistic things. Dealing with the materialistic things is not the purpose of the Vedas. So that is what is being told here. So Vedas have the apparent meaning of the Vedas, give the Trigunatmaka Vishayas. So you don't take that Trigunatmaka approach. That means the materialistic approach don't take if there is something in the Vedas like that. They are apparent meanings. You go to the real meaning. So then Bhashya says, what are the booby traps? What are the trap holes? What are the things where you can falter upon? That warning is given in Bhashya. And how do I avoid it? How do I find a solution for that? The question comes, and Tatparya gives the answer. So Bhashya tells the stage what the issue is, and Tatparya gives a solution for that. In Acharya, Tatparya says, what you have to do is Traigunya Visha Yapayanti Visham Yapayati. So the Trigunatmaka approach, the materialistic approach, is like a poison. So the Vedas themselves give the solution how to avoid the wrong approach or wrong meaning. The Vedas themselves give the solution. You have to understand and get the correct meaning through proper gurus. The proper gurus will tell, look, for example, Swarga Kamo Jyotishtomo Yajeta. Those who are desirous of the heaven have to do Jyotishtoma Yaga. That does not mean you have to wish for it. So by doing that Homa or Yaga, you will go to heaven. But the purpose is not just to go to heaven. Though it is capable of granting the heaven, you do it to please Paramatma. And to do the right thing, you do it, not to get a benefit out of it. So it says these benefits are there. Doesn't mean you seek those benefits. It means they are capable of giving those benefits. You do to please Paramatma. Those benefits will come anyway. You don't have to wish for it, but they come anyway. So this is how you approach. So all these are explained in Bhashya and Tattvarya. So the concept is important, and then the people will get it out. Hey, that means if I do that to please Paramatma, then I won't get the Swarga. Is that true? So if the question comes, no. So that is answered in the next sloka, 46 says, Yavanartha udapane sarvatah samplutodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanatah. So here it says, hey, look, suppose you have a big, huge reservoir of water. You have a small well. Whatever benefits come out of the well can all be had with this big reservoir of water also. And the big reservoir of water will give a lot more benefits. You can use it for many water projects. You can use it for swimming. You can use it for filling up your pool or swimming pool or what. So there is a lot more benefits than a small well. So this materialistic benefits, whatever you talked about, like they are like a well. So don't wish for the well, but wish for the big, huge reservoir of water. That will give. So the moksha, akhya prayojana, the moksha way of prayojana and the pleasing the Paramatma will give you whatever materialistic benefits, and also it will give you Bhagavat Seva Bhagya and moksha or liberation. All those also will be achieved. So it is a much bigger benefit. So it is not that you are giving up materialistic things, but you are not wishing for it. You please Paramatma, he gets pleased, he will grant everything. So that is what is conveyed in the next sloka, that you are not really giving up anything by giving up your desires. All that you are doing is you are having more peace of mind because you are not very running after the materialistic benefits. That's what it is. And the next sloka is a very, very important sloka, and you might have heard a lot of you heard this sloka. कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्म फल हेतुर्भुर मा ते संगोस्त्व कर्मणि. If you take the simple meaning, it says you have the eligibility. This is nothing to do with the swatantra. We are not talking about the swatantra here. Adhikara, a lot of people get adhikara means eligibility. People get confused. Adhikara means swatantra. I have the will. It's my control. Will I have the total control of what karmas I do? Because in materialistic people, hey, I can do whatever I want. People think like that, but here they are forgetting the Paramatma completely, because for you to do certain act, the instigation has to come from inside. Somebody has to instigate. So God gives you the ability to think. He gives the prerana or instigation. He makes you, oh, I have to go this way. I have to do this way. When you think like that, that capability to think, that capability itself is granted by Paramatma. He is behind everything. So that is what karmani eva adhikarahate. That means you are eligible to do the karma, but you do not even have the eligibility to decide what fruit I should get. The results of an action is, you do not even have the eligibility for that. Of course, you do not have swatantra for karma, swatantra for phala, swatantra for anything you don't have. That is true. But at least you have the you can, you see yourself. See, because I want to lift a fruit. You lift the fruit. It looks as if you have this swatantra or free will to lift the fruit. But think about it. The brain sends a signal to the hand, lift the fruit. So the hand lifts the fruit. The signal from the brain to the hand is, you do not carry it. The signals are sent, it's automatically done. Some invisible force is doing that. We don't see it, but suppose I have paralytic attack. I can't lift. If the fruit itself is not there, I cannot lift the fruit. If the fruit itself, the fruit is a creation of Paramatma. It came out of the plant. The plant gave the fruit. Of course, you poured the water. You see, planted. You put the seed in there. But the fruit coming out of the plant, it is in the control of Paramatma. So you see that things seem to be under your control, but they are all actually controlled by Paramatma. So his invisible hand can be seen everywhere. That is why you have the eligibility to do action, but not the freedom. But for fruit of the action, you do not have, or the results of the action, you do not have the eligibility also. You do not have swatantra and you do not have the eligibility also. So it says, ma karma pala hetuhu bhuhu ma te sangaha astu akarmane. You say, oh, okay, karmas are bandhaka, they are binding. So what I will do is I will not do any action at all. If somebody thinks like that, there are multiple problems, because one is you do not have eligibility not to engage in inaction also. If you engage in inaction, not doing anything, basically, if you say, I don't do any karmas, then you should not even eat. But, oh, I want to eat. So certain karmas you want to do, certain karmas, oh, I want to do the puja, I want to do, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do any of that. So it looks as if you selectively decide, oh, some actions I do, some actions I don't do. But you do not have the eligibility also to remain actionless. First of all, na, actually in the future it comes, na kaschit kshanamapi jatatishyat akarma krut. It's impossible to remain actionless, because we do breathe. The breathing is an action. We move around, we walk, we sleep, we talk. All these are actions. So saying I don't do any action at all, it's not even practical and it's not possible. So that's why it says, just because you do not have the swatantra to do the karma, I will remain actionless, means you do not have the swatantra or freedom to remain actionless also. Just as you do not have freedom to do a certain type of action, you do not have freedom not to do any action at all. That freedom also is not there. That's why it says, ma karma pala hetu bhu. Oh, if I do this, I should get this action. Karma pala hetu. So for this karma, this is the phala, and I have to get. If you say that, you may not get or you may not get. Basically, you cannot decide for this karma, this is the result. So the decision making also is not there for you. None of this is in your hand. And Acharya explains that even great jnanis, they think that, oh, we do not have, and this phala swatantra. So phala kamana, you may do it, but it's useless. So the ideal thing is, don't even do the phala kamana. That means desiring for the fruits of action. Don't do it. So even jnanis don't do it, and you are, after all, ordinary persons, they doing the phala kamana is meaningless. So that is comes out of ignorance. So it gives the warnings as to what is to be done, what is not to be done. So here, kama nisheda eva atra phalani aswatantrena bhavanti eva. Here, what is forbidden is doing the kamana. It is not forbidding for you to take an action. Okay, you do the action, don't even have any results. This is not the message. The message is not to have any fruits at all. That is not the message. It says, do not desire for the fruits. And here people get confused also, because, hey, do you mean to say I work for a company? Don't desire for the salary. You just work for them and be happy. And if they give the salary, they give. If they don't give the salary, they don't give. That's not the message here. Here, this is related to spiritual journey. In the spiritual realm, do not desire for the results of the action in the spiritual realm. Because even here, unless you get the salary, you lead your life, you cannot do any sadhana. You want to do Bhagavad Seva, for that you have to lead your life. Sharira madhya khalu dharma sadhanam. This sharira is dharma sadhana for running the body, for running our families, for running our lives, for making the body maintain, to live happily. You need all that. So you need the salary, you need to get that, you need to live life. But don't stop there. That thing has to be progressed further to continue your spiritual journey. So that is what the message is. So phalakamana, don't do it. Realize the swatantra, aswatantra aspects, and whatever is to be done, do with the dedication spirit to Paramatma. The materialistic things, do it in appropriate way. One is dharma, dharmartha kama moksha we talk about. So do the materialistic things in a appropriate and desirable way, but don't overdo anything. Don't be obsessed with anything. The obsession is what is being negated, or what is being prevented, or what is being talked against. We should not be submissive to the obsession. We should not get into the moods of obsession. That's what is being told here. So the warnings that are given, we have to be very careful about that. And uh, when the phalas are given by Paramatma, when you talk about that, people will say, hey, how do I know Paramatma is even there? How do I know who is controlling my phalas? Okay, I see that I don't get the phala all the time. Sometimes I get, sometimes I don't get. But how do I know the Paramatma even exists? This kind of fundamental doubts can come. The answers for this can come only from Apaurusheya Vedas. Apaurusheya Vedas, unauthored text, explain how a supernatural force exists, because this cannot be proven by any logic. Logic is not possible to prove the existence of Paramatma. Existence of Paramatma can be known only through Apaurusheya Vedas, where it describes the qualities of Paramatma, what he is like, and how it is to be done. All this is explained there. So this is what is being conveyed in this sloka. So I'll stop it here so that people, if anybody has any questions, they can ask Hare Srinivasa.
Dhanyavad Shri Keshav. I do want to ask one doubt that I have. So
Sure.
when we say this karmanyevadhikarasti ma phaleshu kada, so in this shloka is, if you are doing something without any phal kamana, then
Yeah.
you are only doing your duty. Is that what it means here?
Yes. You're
That
doing your
only
duty.
to focus only on duties?
Yes. Yes. And also, there are two aspects. One is the materialistic aspects, the other one is the spiritual aspects. From
Hmm.
the spiritual aspect, we have to see the hand of Paramatma in every action.
Hmm.
From the material aspect, we should, we have the ambitions, we have to, we work hard, we do something. But when we are doing that, if we think that Paramatma is like, for example, you go to an interview, you attend the interview, you do the interview to the best of your ability. But sometimes you see that the person is very favorable to you, is very, very kind of, receptive and wants to be very nice to you sometimes.
Hmm.
Sometimes, though you are doing perfectly everything, the person somehow has an aversion for you. So what is that? That means some invisible force is controlling the mind of that person, and that's what is making the Paramatma is the one who decides how a person thinks. So the invisible hand of the Paramatma has to be seen everywhere. So when you do that, the materialistic things, you do it with an ambition, with a goal. That is also part of your duty only. But while doing that, if you think of the hand of Paramatma there, what it does is it gives you a lot of peace of mind. Okay, something is happening this way. That
Right.
means it is the decision of the Paramatma. So when you think in those lines, it gives us a lot of peace of mind.
Right. So one follow-up question on that one. So just by way of example, some people, they want to go see a lot of places.
Yeah.
They want to go this place, that place. I don't look at it as a duty.
Yes.
So those, I know in the Shastras there are Tirtha Prabandha, and we go it's ordained to go visit a lot of holy places. So those
Yeah.
going to those places, it seems like it's duty. that one should go, and it's injunction of the Shastra. But going to other places, there it's not duty. So should we be spending time on that?
This is how it is. So there is what is called vidhi, nisheda, and there is also what are tatastha karmas. Three kinds of actions. So they are, of course, they are not vidhis, but at the same time, they are not nishedha also. They are not forbidden act. Of course, they are not duty. You're not compelled to do it. There is no instruction to do that. So they are not prohibitions, or there is no prescription. It's neither a prescription nor a prescription. It is not it's not saying, okay, go and visit all the places. There's no statement like that. No, don't go and visit any places. There's no statement. So it is neither vidhi nor nishedha. But they are tatastha karma. That means they are neutral actions. So you are going and visiting various places. There's nothing wrong in that because there's no prohibition for that.
Right.
And while doing that, suppose occasionally some thought of, oh, look, like so you see a beautiful waterfall. Oh my God, look at this. This is a great creation of God. Is one of the great creation. So that thought of God, when it flashes through, it's something positive. You are seeing the superpower of Paramatma in something. So they also become, then that means the thought of God is a positive thought that comes in. So the positive, as long as it gives you the positive vibrations, positive thoughts, it is fine. So visiting the places or like that, anything, going to any activities or whatever we do, yes, as long as it's not forbidden, it's not a nishedha, then that is fine. It may not be, there may not be a vidhi. Of course, as you said, it's not a duty. But at the same time, it is not a something that's a forbidden act also. So neither of it. So it's a tatastha karma. There's nothing wrong doing that. But while doing that also, if any thought of positive thought comes in, that is a good thing.
Okay. Dhanyawad. One more question, unless somebody else has a question. One more question I want to ask is, in Gita Sarodhara, Pejawar Swamiji had one incident in Mahabharata he describes is where Yudhishthir asks several people about what is between the Purushartha, which is most important, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, and Bhima says that it is the Kama.
Yes.
So there he said that desire is important. So here, how do we, you mentioned, you talked about it, but how do we reconcile this thing? What should we desire? And some things to desire, like the love for God, worshipping God, following our duty, those things we should desire. But so how do we reconcile with what Lord Bhima said?
Yeah. See, if you take a dharma, it's always a positive thing. If you take a artha, it can be people can get the wealth for good or for bad. Moksha is all positive. So dharma, the two ends, dharma and moksha are all positive. But artha, people can get wealth through wrong means or right means. So the positive and negative two aspects are there in artha. Kama, if you take same thing, it can be a bad kama or a good kama. Good kama, wishing to help people, wishing to do something good. So the kama, the reason Bhima says kama is because suppose dharma is not a verb. Artha is also not a verb. Moksha is also not a verb. Kama, kamana, desiring. Desire is a verb. So it actually is action. So you do the kama of the artha. You do the kama of the artha. You desire to earn the wealth. You do the kama of the moksha. You desire to acquire the moksha. So kama becomes a common platform for all the others also, because dharma is a noun. Dharma, what is about dharma? What should I do about dharma? Means, hey, you desire for the dharma. Artha is the, what should I do? You desire for artha, the wealth, through dharma marga. Dharma margena artham apnoti. So you do earn the wealth, but in a proper means, not through illegal means or illicit wealth or illegal wealth. Wrong means wealth is not good. So do the kamana of the dharmatmaka artha chintana. So that is also a kama. Kama means desiring positively. So you always, that's why Bhima said kama, because dharma, artha and moksha are there. Okay, moksha, what should I do with the moksha? Means you desire for the moksha. You do the kama of the moksha.
Right.
So the kama becomes a basis for all the others. That's why Bhima says kama. So he is thinking not the negative karma, but the positive karma, which directs, which is the basis for the all the other three purusharthas. That is why Bhima says it's the karma.
No. Very, very nice explanation. I had never thought that the noun versus the verb, and very nice explanation. Dhanyawad. Sastha namaskar. Okay, anybody else has if nobody has a question, then we'll do a small prayer and
Yeah, just one question. So regarding this, Hagadre, like Bhimsen Devaru tells that karma is important. That means before doing any action, basically it comes to our mind with a fruit, right? Like we desire for a fruit, then we do. Like if I am doing a puja or doing a homa, then there is at least a small desire that everything should be fine, everything should my kids should get good, something, some or other, it will be there. So is it saying that even that desire we should not have, like even the smallest of the small desire, like at least everything should be fine, we shouldn't be in a gati where we are basically out of this bhakti ella ಆ ಥರ ಆಗ್ಬಾರ್ದು ಎಂಬ ಆ desire, is it correct?
No, it's nothing wrong. See, the desire that you have, like for example, I want to be healthy. That desire, right? You're not asking for moksha, you're asking to be healthy. But if you are healthy, then only you can do sadhana to acquire moksha. So desiring for other things is fine, but don't stop there. Desiring for good health or desiring for good position, good life is fine. But what for? Is ultimately to reach Paramatma. So it has to be a means of finally reaching Paramatma. So desire for other things is not forbidden, but it can become a bandhaka if it stops right there. I desire, I want this, that's it. That's it. That's all I want. Then it becomes a bandhaka and it goes into a cyclic action process. Like you do karma, you born again and again and again. So it becomes a bandhaka or a binding thing. So what it is saying is, no, never, because we are ordinary beings. If you avadhuta is there or sannyasi is there, they can just not desire for any materialistic things. We are always constantly involved in the materialistic things. The materialistic things come to us all the time, but that should not. What is the purpose of that? The ultimate purpose we have to go that. So use that as a means only, not as the end. Whatever materialistic things he asks for, like small things desiring, nothing wrong, because we are all ordinary beings. We desire for that, but don't stop there, but go further. That's all it says.
Can I take it as this way that okay, you can desire for something, but if it doesn't happen, then don't cry for that, don't
Yes.
be
That is
sad.
what is ma karma pala heturbhur mate sangosu. So ma karma pala hetur ma paleshu kadachana. If the fruits did not happen, you should not feel very upset.
Or Keshwa Raoji, like to answer Jayashreeji's question, like as he emphasized that this is for the spiritual activity, spiritual journey. So, for example, if you are helping someone or doing something, intent should not be to get the fruit. Intent should be just to help. So now, nice fruit comes, that's fine. It doesn't come, that's fine, because we were not even doing that thing for any expectation, actually.
Yes. Yeah. So do not be obsessed. The obsession should not be there. Oh, I did that. Why God? God is must have given me. Why he didn't do this? This kind of a thinking should not be there. Hey, maybe I don't deserve it. Maybe it's not now. Maybe it will happen in the future. So this kind of understanding will give us peace of mind also. It both has materialistic benefit that it will give us peace of mind. The second thing is we realize that how we are not independent. We are not the decision maker. Someone else is the decision maker. This is what it is. Okay, so we'll again meet on Wednesday.
धन्यवाद श्री केशवराव. Sastang namaskar. We'll do a small prayer. प्रातः प्रभीति सायांतं
Saya Prataram
यत् करोमि जगन्नाथ तदस्तु तत्पूजनम्.
प्रातः कालादिकं कर्म नित्य नैमित्तिकं तथा केशवाराधनार्थाय करिष्येऽहं तवाज्ञया. हरे श्रीनिवास.
हरे श्रीनिवास. धन्यवाद.
नमस्कार केशव.
नमस्कार.
Thanks and pranam to everyone.